गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. The nature of Paroksha and Aparoksha Jnanam is now explained. Asti Brahmeti Chedveda Paroksha Jnanameva Tata Aham Brahmeti Chedveda Sakshatkara Sa Uchyate. The Paroksha Jnanam is that when one comes to know that the Brahman is. However, when a person comes to experience that I am Brahman, this is called as Aparoksha Jnana. Do you all know Brahman is? I'm asking you.
Yes, Swamiji. Do you know?
You are asking me? I am asking you.
The consciousness.
See, here the definition of Paroksha Jnana is when you come to know Brahman is, you are convinced of it. Yes, you may be still in the world, but you are convinced and you are putting efforts to move towards a point where the thought of Brahman alone remains in your mind. That is the only preoccupation that you have. That is Paroksha Jnana. When all your thoughts are only about Brahman, that is Paroksha Jnana. Where the thought of Brahman is the ajapajap that is going on. Ajapajap, when involuntarily your mind is thinking only about that thing. That is Paroksha Jnana. And what is Aparoksha Jnana? When you come to till it was, oh, Brahman is the reality, I understand. It is Paroksha Jnana. When it clicks that I am Brahman, that which I was thinking is the reality, that I alone am. And this is not only at the mind level, at the thought level, but it's at a being level. So this is a very fine shift. We talk about extrovertedness and introvertedness. So here when you realize thinking about Brahman is also extrovertedness. And what I am thinking about cannot be anything other than who I am. When presence of the thought or absence of the thought. Both. So that is the point where you start contemplating, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. But that was a thought in my mind. After that there was silence. Who is there? Now you cannot say Aham Brahmasmi because there is silence. Then again you say Aham Brahmasmi. Then again you say I am Brahman. So in between, was I there or was I not there? Or was there, remember in the second class I told absence, nothingness, emptiness, there is nothing called like that. So between the two Aham Brahmasmis, who was there? A japa is going on. Mind is totally programmed with the Aham Brahmasmi. The bhav is also there. But merely bhav is not going to do. You have to accept that you are it in spite of the thought. Whether there is a thought or there is no thought, you are still Brahman. Then it will be aparoksha anubhuti. And this is told here, asti brahmeti chetveda paroksha jnanam tat. Paroksha jnana is that knowledge which we have gathered after the study of scriptures. It is at the level of information. Such a student knows that the Brahman is, however, it is not yet realized as one's own nature. The existence of Brahman is accepted on the strength of his faith in the scriptures, teacher, and the Lord. So why are we seeking Brahman? Why are we exposing ourselves to this knowledge of Brahman even in this text? And spent how many? From morning 9 o'clock till now? Why? Because masters have realized it, scriptures are roaring about it through Vedanta, teachers are teaching it, Guru Maharaj is teaching it, so many masters. Vidyaranya Swami is the teacher, and the grace of the Lord, by the blessings of the Lord, I am able to understand what is being told, what is being narrated here. And my mind, rather than all the paraphernalia of the words, my mind is stuck on Brahman. That Brahman alone is expressing as all these words. That Brahman alone is the Ishvara, the teacher. The Brahman alone is my ability to understand. Everything is pervaded by him. He alone is. And as long as this bhav is there, it is paroksha jnana. Then aham brahmeti chedveda sakshatkara sa uchyate. The aparoksha jnanam is that direct experience based on paroksha jnanam, which is experienced as one's own being. Now there is no desire, there is no becoming, there is no merging, there is no wanting, there is no diving into the Brahman. No. Now you have, till I was thinking aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman, till then Brahman was a thought, a concept, a idea which you have heard what it is you repeating that, but it has not become direct yet. But here it becomes your direct experience. In paroksha jnanam it is only knowing, here it is knowing as well as being. Being is existence, knowing is consciousness. When knowing and being come together, bliss ensues. You are happy for no reason. I am existence. Now what? This book is also existence, this table is also existing, book is existing. But they cannot experience bliss. If we live in tamas, we are also existing. But because we are conscious of our own uncorrupted existence, in other words, when we are conscious of our own continuous existence, continuous being, that there was never a moment in creation that I was not. And what is this being Brahman? All the scriptures are talking about the Brahman only. And when this becomes, when the knowing and being come together, that's the moment, that's the eureka, that's the enlightenment. In Zen, that is the satori, that moment when whatever has to happen happens at that moment. And actually nothing has happened. So therefore, scriptures say, experience less experience, happening less happening, realization less realization. See, discovery less discovery. These are the, what do you call them? Oxymorons? Oxymorons. That you are self-cancelling words. Desireless, desire. Right? It is being. Therefore, when knowing and being becomes one, we have transcended paroksha jnanam and have aparoksha anubhuti, that is direct experience of one's being, Brahman. Hence, the Mundaka Upanishad declares that Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati. The knower of Brahman is Brahman. Huh? The knower. Who is the knower? Consciousness. Brahman, eternal existence. Because that's how we explain, Sat Chit Anand. What is consciousness? Knowledge, knower. To know. And what does he know? That I am the eternal existence, that I have never gone out of existence. Remember the first lecture today. We never feel that we have gone out of existence. Everything that we talk about coming and going is something that we are referring to. It is the body, it is the thoughts, it is the breath, it is the world, it is the waker, dreamer, sleeper. But it is never, I have come and I have gone. We may use it in our language, but when you think about it and take a moment, then you say, no, I have never gone and go. If your mind is directed, given that direction, you will realize you have never come, you have never gone. Everything that you talk about coming and going is something else other than you. Something in this creation. Something that is inert, because whatever comes and goes is inert. And therefore, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, the one who is conscious of his continuous existence, he alone, that is the direct experience that he abides in. The one who knows Brahman is Brahman. Now here, one who knows Brahman, before Paroksha, it was objectively he was knowing. But when it becomes subjective, the transaction of knowledge is no longer there. Now he is being the Brahman, or being that which he is seeking. To come to this self-realization hereafter, inquiry about self begins. So this is the point till where we have to come. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. Tat sakshatkara siddhyartham. Tat sakshatkara siddhyartham. Atma tattvam vivichyate. Atma tattvam vivichyate. Yenayam sarvasarat. Yenayam sarvasarat. Sadhya eva vimuchyate. Sadhya eva vimuchyate. For the attainment of self-realization and inquiry and discrimination about the essence of pure self is being expounded. So till here, the purpose of the text or purpose of the chapter with that particular example that was told. Now, inquiry into the truth, inquiry into the self. By this, a qualified seeker is freed from the world of change instantaneously, not slowly, not tomorrow, not posthumously. When is it saying? Instantaneously. In Sanskrit it is called achirat. Right here and now, provided we are available. So what was told, aparoksha anubhuti, that can be gained as we go through this inquiry, and the result of that inquiry, somewhere many examples will be taken, many angles of approach will be taken for that inquiry. And as we are going through inquiry, depending upon our ability, we will say, oh, that was very interesting. Gone. We are not here to please you or interest you. You have to be subjective. You have to apply, as the inquiry is going on, your attention is on the pure consciousness that you are. You are with every sentence that is going on and the unfoldment of the topic is happening. You are with it. If you are with it till now, you will understand. And the result will be achirat, instant, kara amlavat, like a gooseberry on your palm. That means no effort has to be made. It's already with you. You are just eating it. It's already you. You are being it. It's already you. You are knowing it. Majedar hai. And when does it happen? There is no delay. There is no lag. There is no practice. There is no time lapse. Till you have not come to that zero moment, till then listen, till then understand, till then pray to the Lord, till then be aware, till then be the witness, till then have the urgency, have the thirst that before today this class is over, I will be that. Why? With this class is over. Before the next moment comes, I am that. This you're not repeating, otherwise too many thoughts in your mind. It's just one foundation you are making. And for that, what happens? Like a child, when he falls, he does not think about crying. He doesn't think about not starting to walk again. He only keeps looking forward. To keep walking, keep running. Similarly, you only keep looking forward to merge. In spite of the many falls that you will have, in spite of many thoughts coming and hijacking your attention away, but you don't give up the urge to merge. That only you can do. I can only inspire. The scriptures can only inspire and give you the process of contemplation. But what you do with that process of contemplation, with what urgency you interact with it, with what availability you interact with it, that's up to each one of you. Tat sakshatkara siddhyartham atma tattvam vivichyate. The first hand knowledge that we get from the study of scriptures is just information. This is not yet a doubt-free knowledge. To convert this information, one has to look at the self from all angles and also from very close quarters. This is called mananam. And why we have to do that? Because whenever we look at anything, see that picture of this the temple they are going to build here. It has got a front view and it has got a side view. Did you notice? Did you work out which is the front and which is the side? At the first look, it looks all the same, isn't it? All windows, tuck, 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 tuck. So you will mistake the side view to be the front view, or you will mistake the front view to be the side view. So you have to, because you want, if I look at this book, I will think only the book is only this much. If this is a laptop, I'll think this is only the laptop, closed. I didn't know how to open it. I didn't know how to press the buttons to enter it. I didn't know there are many different apps, applications which can be worked on it. Isn't it? When we were doing mechanical drawing in the school, in 11th and 12th, I had mechanical drawing. And there the exercise used to be, like the, what do you call mechanical drawing hota hai, with the lines and everything. So I am given a laptop, for example. So they will say, make these are the dimensions and make the top view. You have to draw the top view. So you have to take this dimension, you have to take the thickness, you have to take the length and the breadth, you have to take the height if it is open. And how will it look from the top? If I look from the top, I will not see the screen, I will only see this part. And this part is a thin thing till here, and it will all look flat when I am looking from the top. And on this part, I'll see all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, everything, isn't it? If I look from the side, I'm looking at only this part, this L shape. I'm not looking at all the alphabets and the screen. So we start blessing that I took that, because suddenly it opened my eyes to other possibilities of looking at the same thing. So they gave us a rose, they gave us a mug, they gave us some tumbler, or they gave simple things, a test tube, and we have to draw the top view, or after we became good at it, top view, side view, front view, then they say, how will it look at 21-degree angle if you are looking at it from the top? Your angle of vision is 21 degree. यहाँ से यूँ. Then you have to draw. Then you have to draw it from 45 degrees. If this object is not sitting on the ground, if it is kept like this, now what will be the view? You have to work all that. All that requires calculations, and after having calculated, then you have to draw it. But we started appreciating the different ways. It's the same laptop, but as many people, even here, as many people are looking at this laptop, they have a different view of this laptop. You will say, this laptop is like this, it has got no screen. I'll say, no, there is screen. Ladai karo. See, this is what the problem is in the world. So when you start looking at it from all angles, there is no doubt about what the laptop is as a whole. Not only one angle of approach. From top, from bottom, from outside, this side, from that side, from this angle, from that angle, even from inside out. And once you appreciate all that, this is called, here Swamiji is saying, is called as reflection. Reflection is mananam. And when you look at it like this, many different doubts will appear. What are the three stages of our study? Shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. It is not pathanam, mananam and nididhyasanam. Shravanam, listen. Mananam, reflect, like we are doing right now, from all different angles. And what will be the result of that? All doubts, confusions about what this laptop is, they will be removed. Because you are not leaving any angle unturned. All possible ways you are looking at it. And when you have got no doubt about what the laptop is, or will replace the laptop with Paramatma, with Brahman, when there is no doubt in the mind that I am Brahman. First Brahman was this, and then as we come to know Brahman was this, and this I am, and there's no doubt about it, merging takes place. Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is continuous, uninterrupted contemplation on Aham Brahmasmi, on I am the conscious being, I am the infinite consciousness, I am the constant principle. And in this way, the reflection mananam helps to remove any doubt about the truth. The present inquiry about the pure self is to attain this self-realization. Inquiry is not to appreciate what Vidyaranya Swami has written is wonderful. Inquiry is not to appreciate that Panchadashi is a very interesting book. It is not for that purpose. Inquiry is for self-realization, not for validation. Yena ayam sarva samsarat sadya eva vimuchyate. By this knowledge, what is the gain? So purpose was told. What was the purpose? Self-realization. What are we going to gain? We don't do anything in life without a gain. someone called, I can't remember. Swamiji, is there lunch available or we have to bring our own? Today's class. I go, what do you want? She said, it will be, if I have to bring, I'll bring. I said, bring. But is it available? I said, yes, it is. Then I'll not bring. Don't bring. You are coming for interacting with the scriptures and the self, to know the self, or are you coming for lunch? People want to control their environment, you see. And when we are, environment I'm talking, and environment for us is matter. Matter for us is thoughts. But when we are on this journey of self-realization, we have to let go. We have to trust that whatever is to be required, it will be given. If it is not given, it is not required. Two. And whatever is required, it will automatically come. Because my purpose is not to survive. Purpose is not to secure. What about my hunger? I got diabetes. मर जाएगा, आजा. Ready है क्या? नहीं. Then stay at home. Simple सी बात है. If you don't have the hunger for the truth, then stay at home. If you are too worried about your for Kailash also, just now someone called me. Is there helicopter available? I went there last year. I said, how did you go? By helicopter. Then why you are asking me? That's what I told her. Then if you know there is helicopter, why you are asking me? No, whether it is included in the price. I said, did your agent include it in the, no. Then I said, how can I include it? Stupid questions they ask. How is the road? It is very bad. I said, it is still like that. If you went last year, it was as it is, maybe a bit better now. क्या बोलेंगे यार? Is the food vegetarian? I said, what you got? Meat? She's going to Kailash. Will we get vegetarian food? I said, what did you get, Amma, there? Did you eat non-veg? Then you are not coming in my group. I don't take anyone who is eating non-veg. Because on the journey, it will be all घास-फूस. घास-फूस. मैं क्यों बोलूँ सब्जी मिलती है? सब्जी घास-फूस ही हो गया. So she says, no, we are vegetarian, we want, but will it be available? I said, will I take you without food? Yaar, spare me, man. And they want to go to Kailash. Not one question about Kailash. Not one question about the satsang during the Kailash. It's all, the brochure is there with them. What are they talking about? Paraphernalia. About their security, about their comfort, about their possible difficulties. Such people, better they don't come. Because it becomes a headache afterwards. Same thing happens on this journey also. If your attention is anything other than on the conscious principle, you are creating problems from yourself, out of yourself. Why? Your mind is entertaining the thoughts of the world. Thinking thoughts of the world is not equal to inquiry. Remember, I read this book, I read that book, I heard that master, I heard that. This is not inquiry. Inquiry is only within. Even listening to me is not inquiry. If these words are not bringing you to a disposition wherein you are conscious of the constant principle within you, that there is something that is constant, whether it is the witnessing consciousness, when we are talking about it, it will be only as witnessing consciousness, and that which is changing, which are the thoughts. If we are not continuously being alert and vigilant about the unchanging and the changing, we are not inquiring. then you are wasting your time. And if I am not doing it, I am wasting my time. What is again this usual question in the minds of the seekers prompts the teacher to tell the purpose of this self-realization. Hence, it is declared that by this knowledge, the seeker transcends all miseries of life. Meaning what? Dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti. Or another word which is used in Pancadasi in one of the chapters, nirankusha trupti. Nirankusha trupti. Ankush is the goad, a hook. Unhooked happiness, uncaused happiness, nirankusha trupti. Purposeless happiness is nirankusha trupti. And when that moment of abidance happens, both the things happen at the same time. Dukkha nivritti, the complete misery leaves you in toto. And purposeless, causeless, supportless happiness becomes your very nature. See? Is it a worthy goal to pursue? Yes. This is the purpose of human birth. The inquiry that will lead to self-realization begins from the following shloka. So from here in the 18th verse, the inquiry is beginning. Till the 18th, 17th, till the 16th verse, we explained to you, the example was given, its simile, when you make it subjective, was given. We were inspired to inquire. And what does, then it was told what is inquiry and what it must lead to. It must lead to self-inquiry, self-realization. An overview of self-realization was given. And this is not happening in the outside world. This is happening in the inner world. Inner world meaning in the mind and intellect. And now what is this inquiry in detail, so that no doubt or confusion is remaining in our mind with regards to pure consciousness. So when we talk about inquiry, we always say inquiry is about constant and changing. So what is constant? What is changing? This we have to be very, very clear. You have to look at it from both the things. You have to look at it from all different angles. Understand? And this is what various practices are doing. Yoga is looking at it from one angle, Kundalini is looking at it from one angle, but all are reaching the same point. Bhakti is looking at it from the same angle, different angle. कूटस्थो ब्रह्म जीवेशा वित्येवं चिच्चतुर्विधा घटाकाशमहाकाशौ जलाकाशाभ्रखे यथा The consciousness is of four kinds. अरे बाप रे, अभी तक तो पता था there is only jiva, conditioned consciousness and unconditioned consciousness. Now you are talking about four consciousness. Remember, pure consciousness, then antaryami. What was the third one? Sutratma, and the last was jiva. No, Hiranyagarbha. Isn't it? Virat. Hiranyagarbha and Virat. Sutatma is Hiranyagarbha. Similarly, here it says Kutastha. Here, when we are talking about consciousness, it is of four kinds. Kutastha, that which is the substratum, that which is the basis, that which is the foundation, that which never changes. Then Brahma. Brahma is, again here, Brahma will be taken as the Hiranyagarbha. Brahma will be taken as the creator. Sutatma, these are the different names. And then the Jiva. That Jiva is the conditioned consciousness. And then last is the Isha. Isha is the Ishvara, or we can bring the Isha as the second one. Isha is the Ishvara. Just as the space is of four kinds, such as, so example is taken, spot space, total space, space reflected in the water, and the cloud space. Okay? My God, I never come across these four spaces. Where did these four spaces come from? I look at pot every day, I look at water every day. I see only one space. In that space, this pot is there. Yes, I can understand pot space and the outside space. But space reflected in the water, I never thought of it. There is a space reflected in the mirror also, no? Similarly, that water, still water in the pot, when you look into it, what is behind your head? Space, Akash, that is also getting reflected. And what was the last one? Cloud space. Kutasto Brahma Jiva Isha Evam iti chet chaturvidha. The statement that the consciousness is of four kinds in Kutastha, Brahma, Jiva and Isha does not mean there are four kinds of consciousnesses. The consciousness is referred to in four different ways. The meaning of each of the terms, such as Kutastha, will be explained in the following verses. So Kutastha will be explained, Jiva will be explained, Brahma will be explained, and Isha will be explained. So what is this? I have mentioned it already, but we'll go deep dive into it. So that if there are any cobwebs around our understanding, that if something is not, still something is left unresolved, that will also get resolved. Remember, these are Prakran Granthas. These are to be studied before you study the Upanishads. With this understanding, which is complete in itself, when you approach the Upanishads, one word and it happens. One word of who was the guru of Ramakrishna Paramahans, that yogi, Totapuri Maharaj. One word of Totapuri Maharaj. One word. And Ramakrishna Paramahans went into Samadhi. Cut. I don't know how to cut. Cut. You guide me. Okay, I'll guide, but you have to cut. I cannot cut for you. Because that image is in your mind, not my mind. No, but how can I cut? She's divine, she's this, she's that. Can you see the knife? Yes. No. Can you see the sword? Yes. Can you see the goddess? Yes. Both are projections of your mind. So one projection is cutting the other projection. How does it matter? Cut. He cut. 3 days he was in Samadhi. Ramakrishna Paramahansa. And therefore, remember, our Shastras do not say study the scriptures. They say listen to the scriptures. Shravanam. It is not the words of the text which are going to make an impact on your mind, because words are inert. Words are inert. Then why do we need a teacher? I don't want someone else's knowledge. I want to my mind. But first get qualified, man, to have your own knowledge. I want to eat fresh food. First learn how to cook. Fresh from fridge is not fresh food. Or fresh from coals is not fresh food. First learn to cook. Learn to remain clean. Learn to take bath every day. Learn to light the lamp every morning. Who is going? It is given in the book, but nothing is happening. I repeat this many times. Again, I am going to repeat. How does knowledge take place? Shravanam. If you are completely in tune with the teacher who is talking what the scriptures are saying, then our attention, knowledge gets transferred from consciousness to consciousness. And the carrier of consciousness, what are the words being delivered from here to there? Is it in space? Is it in air? They are riding on the consciousness. It started from, because consciousness is everywhere. So consciousness they started from, consciousness they are traveling on, and consciousness, with consciousness you are receiving. If you are receiving from your mind, acha, that is interesting, फिर तो गया. If your attention is on the consciousness, because of which hearing is taking place, and my attention is on the consciousness because of which speaking is taking place, there and then it will click. There and then it will click. Inert matter, a book. All of us have hundreds of books in our house. Inert matter cannot transfer knowledge because knowledge is not in the book. Whom do we say knowledge? Knowledgeable? Who? That reality, that pure consciousness is Satchidanand Swarup. It is existence. Consciousness means knowledge. So how can an inert object, does this book know itself? This book has wonderful, the entire Citradipa. But has it meditated? Has it read it? Has it contemplated on it? Can it? So can it communicate the knowledge to you? Knowledge can never be communicated from inert to consciousness. That is why our scriptures say Shravanam. Only a conscious person can transmit the knowledge. He does it by way of words, but what the available student receives is not the words. He receives what the words directing towards. And that is all pervasive principle. That is in you also, that is in between also, that is in the teacher also. Teacher, Vidyaranya Swami, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Ramakrishna, they are established in it. And therefore we feel the impact when we are in their presence. See? So knowledge is transferred from, again I am repeating, consciousness to consciousness, not inertness to consciousness. If knowledge is transferred from inertness to consciousness, then every inert object in the world should make you realize. It's not happening. It's not happening. No, but when we look at the inert statue of the Lord, then people have got realized they have done Pran Pratishtha in it. Or the devotee does not consider that statue to be inert. He considers it a living statue. Living statue, conscious. See? So understand this basic principle rather than be on a trip within your own mind that I am going to study the scriptures. I have to realize I don't want anyone's help. I don't want to listen to anyone. I don't want to be programmed by someone else. I will study the Sanskrit. I will study my own books and I will come to my own conclusions. And who is thinking all this? A mother. Her conclusion will be only to re-establish the motherhood. Every here and there, the mind will be hijacked by motherhood, by wifehood, by employee, whatever roles you are playing. Now imagine, just think, again I am repeating, I know. When in your daily life you have been able to sit for 1.5, 3, 6 hours contemplating without going to sleep for so long? When in your life? Can you even do japa for so long? I do puja. Have you done puja for 6 hours long? And while doing your puja, your attention has to be on the conscious principle. Huh? Have we been? You cannot replace Shravanam by Pathanam. You cannot replace listening by studying. You must listen to the scriptures. After any scriptures you begin, first listen, then you study. But the first impact of that scripture is from a teacher, not because of your own imagination. It can be wrong imagination, a wrong angle of approach to the scripture. But when you are listening to a teacher, then the right approach will be presented to you. And with that right approach, first time you have heard, now you go and contemplate, Swamiji, what did he say that? Okay, let's see. But it will be there in your mind, subconscious mind. Where are we? यथा घटाकाशा महाकाशौ जलाकाशा अब रखे. As space is referred in 4 different ways, Ghatakasha is space contained within the pot, or in other words, space conditioned by the walls of the pot. Mahakasha is the total space, well known to all. What is Jalakasha and Meghakasha? घटावच्छिन्न खे नीरम यत्तत्र प्रतिबिंबतः साभ्रनक्षत्र आकाशो जलाकाश उदीर्यते. Jalakasha means the reflection of space along with clouds, stars, etc. in the water contained within the pot space. Ghatavichinna ke niram udirayate. The Jalakasha is possible under a set of 3 factors. Therefore, these 3 factors together is the nature of Jalakasha. What are they? Pot space, which is limited by the pot walls, water contained in the pot space, and reflection of general space along with the clouds, sun, moon, etc. in the water. Can you have a reflection of sun, moon and clouds in without a pot? Yes, we can have it in the pond. We can have it in the ocean. Yes, you can. But then what is the conditioning there? There is a total conditioning. In the pond, it is a little bit larger conditioning than the pot. Can you have a reflection of the space, sun and stars with the pot and the space? No, you need to have water in it. Only then reflection will happen. See? Just like a person, life is expressing, but the mind is not there. Can you be called a living person? Can you interact with the world? Can you appreciate? Can you feel the emotions? Can you come to conclusions? Mind is not there. You need a reflecting medium. If mind is not there, that is the reflecting medium. If that is not there, either he is realized or he is mad. Think. Meghakash is महाकाशस्य मध्येयन् मेघमण्डलमीक्ष्यते प्रतिबिम्बतया यत्र मेघाकाशो जले स्थितः. Now your thought will never go here. But when we bring you to this example, you will, if that example is not given, I'll tell you. I'll say, yeah, I've seen. Meghakash is the reflection of the general space in water contained in the clouds that are suspended in space. Have you seen space reflected in the clouds? Have you seen? No. Good. What are clouds? Now you read this by yourself. Will you understand anything? Therefore we must listen. Because book, you cannot ask this question, no, I didn't understand. Book is not going to answer you. Have you ever played the soap water bubbles? Have you seen when the big bubble is there? Can you see the reflection of the space and the world in it? What is cloud made up of? Water bubbles. So you can imagine if here a bubble is able to reflect, that water bubble in the cloud must be also reflecting. Correct? Logical conclusion. But you will never think in that manner. How do I know? Did I go to the clouds? No. How did I know? My teacher told me. How did my teacher tell? His teacher told him. How did he come to know? Oh, it started from Shankaracharya. Parampara Jnana. So that knowledge which we are teaching is not our own. It is coming from Parampara. And where did it start? From Shankaracharya. And where did he get it from? His incarnation of Lord Shiva. So understand. Where are we? Suspended in space. Mahakashasya madhye yata megha mandalam ikshate tatra jale pratibimbataya sthitaha meghakashaha. As we have seen, the existence of Jalakasha is possible under certain conditions, so also is true about Meghakasha. The factors that govern the Meghakasha are there should be total space available, and second condition is clouds along with water droplets should be there, and lastly reflection of general space in the droplets in the clouds has to in the clouds is going on. In short, both Jalakasha and Meghakasha are conditioned expressions of pure space, and all of them exist in this space alone. So just like man is present in the husband also, the son also, the brother also, the father also, but it is the same person. Similarly, it's the same space, and that same space is reflecting itself in these two, Jalakash and Meghakash, in wherever there is conditioned space, that is the expression they are taking to both the Jalakash and the Meghakash. Actually, Tino, Ghatakash also is conditioned, Jalakash is also conditioned, and Meghakash is also conditioned. We can hardly see the droplets in the clouds, therefore, to know the reflected space in those droplets is almost impossible. This doubt is, I already answered this doubt. Did I answer or no?
Yes.
Nobody else is saying anything?
Yes.
I did? No. Meghansharupamudakam, Meghansharupamudakam, Tusharakara sansthitam, Tatra khapratibimboyam, Neratvadanumiyate. The water in the cloud is nothing but a part of the cloud. In the clouds, the water is existing in the form of fine droplets. This reflection of space in these droplets can be inferred. The droplets being water. Here I have given you even more easy example of the soap water bubbles that we play the game. And in that, just as we see the reflection of the sky and the stars and everything, similarly, if that is the case in the clouds is nothing but droplets of water. So how does a droplet of water? So there also the reflection must be happening. If it is happening here, it must be happening there. This is called inference. It's not your direct experience, but through one example you are coming to a conclusion that it must also be happening that way. If I say a consciousness is expressing as life here, it is also expressing there. It is also expressing as life in America. But I have not seen America. Inference. There also human beings are there. Oh, but I saw it only on TV. There, TV is not real. We can come up with n number of arguments. But the fact is, humanity is there on all continents. So if people are there, there also consciousness must be expressing as life through human beings and animals, isn't it? If there is water here and there is a reflection, then whether the water is in America or India or North Pole or South Pole, wherever there is water, there will be reflection of the sky, isn't it? Inference. I don't have to go to South Pole and North Pole in America to come to, no, I have to see it physically. Only then I will believe. That is the stupid man's way of inquiry. My mind is going in a different direction. You learn through market research. So here also, so we don't have to commit mistakes what others have made. You learn from others people's mistake and don't make that mistake in your life. No, I have to make the mistake, only then I will learn. Then there's no one's more stupid than you, isn't it? समझ रहे हो ना क्या बोल रहे हैं? तो उसी तरह से in this example also, we don't have to have a direct experience of that reflection of space. We are inferring. If one pot is having a space inside, every pot will be having space inside. If the water in one pot is reflecting the space, then water, if it is pure water, in every pot will be reflecting the space. So also Jalakash and Meghakash. This being so, in the water, the reflection of space can be inferred. The fact that there is but one difference in the Jalakash and Meghakash, the container of Jalakash is a pot, while the container of the Meghakash is a cloud. The similarity is that both are possible under similar set of conditions, factors. And what is that factor? Conditioning is the factor. Upadhikaran is the factor. Upadhi means conditioning. So whether I see myself in the camera or I put the zoom here and I see myself in the zoom camera on the laptop, principle is the same. Or I see on a mirror, if there is a mirror here, I see myself in the mirror. Principle is exactly the same. In this way, although space is one, it is referred in 4 different ways depending upon conditionings, just as this is simulated with consciousness. Just as one man with reference to children is called as father, same man with reference to wife is called as husband, same man with reference to parents is called a son. Similarly, here the same space with reference to different conditionings has been given a different name, that's all. Now consciousness. Adhishthanataya deha deha dvayavachinna chetanaha कूटवन्निर्विकारेण वन्निर्विकारेण स्थितः कूटस्थ उच्यते. The pure consciousness being the substratum for both gross and subtle bodies, and thereby conditioned by them, exists without undergoing any modification, like the anvil is called Kutastha Chaitanya. What are the substratum for all the different spaces? Ghatakash, Jalakash, Meghakash. What was the substratum? No, Mahaka. Substratum was the space. In the space the pot was. In the space the pot was, and in the pot was the water. So where was the space? First it was outside the space, it was holding the pot. Now it is inside the space once the pot came into existence. Now in the pot there is water. That is also existing in space, and now the space is existing in the, before it was only in the pot, now it is reflecting in the waters of the pot, and so also in the droplets of water. But what is the substratum there? Space, not pot, not water, not clouds. Space is the substratum. Similarly here, what is the substratum? It is called as Kutastha. When we talk about consciousness as substratum, the unchanging one, on whom all the changes are taking place, it is called as Kutastha Chaitanya. So here is called as Kutastha. The pure consciousness which is conditioned by gross body and subtle body is called as Deha Dvaya Vachinna. Does it mean that the consciousness is getting conditioned because of the bodies? The reply is given in the second line of the shloka. Consciousness is essentially a substratum for the gross and subtle bodies, which are effects of grossified and nascent five great elements. This is very clear. Both the bodies are superimposed on the substratum. Both the bodies are superimposed on the substratum. What are the two bodies? Gross body and the subtle body are superimposed on the substratum. Just like the picture was superimposed on the canvas. Just like this picture of mine is superimposed on the screen of the camera. Similarly, gross body and the subtle body means mind and intellect, or breath, mind and intellect, and gross body is this physical one. They are superimposed on the consciousness. Now you have to think subjectively. So just like this form is appearing on the camera screen, if you touch the picture, you are touching the screen. If I touch my mustache, I am touching the screen. When I am touching here, am I touching the consciousness? So pure consciousness, yes. But how is it expressing here? When I touch the mustache, when I touch the dadi, as existence, not as consciousness. Understand? So when it says here, consciousness is essentially a substratum for the gross and subtle bodies, which are effects of grossified and the nascent five great elements. Both the bodies are superimposed on the substratum. The conscious being and the consciousness is the substratum. I am a conscious being. I am not a dead being. I am not an inert being. I am a conscious being. You are a conscious being. Then why are you taking yourself to be the body being? Big mistake. Big mistake. So you are a conscious being, and as if living as a body being, meaning an inert being. And because you have programmed your mind that you are not you are conscious, but you want to be conscious being with the body. And because your attention is always on the body, therefore you want to elongate your life, you want to want immortality, blah 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 blah. The conscious being substratum is not affected by the modifications of the superimposed, although it supports all the modifications. All the modifications of the waves are not affecting the ocean, but without, or the water. But water is alone the one on whom all the modifications, macro and micro, ocean and wave, are happening and unhappening, isn't it? Is water affected by happening or unhappening of the ocean and waves? From the water's point of view, is there an ocean and wave? If ocean and wave are created out of appearing on the water, has the water become less? If they merge back into the ocean, if there are floods, has the water become more? No. Water continues to be water. Who am I? The conscious being. What is the quality of this conscious being? It remains unchanged in spite of the changes taking place in the gross and the subtle. What are the changes at the gross level? Childhood, teenage, youth, etc. Birth, growth, disease, decay, death, etc. What is the changes happening at the subtle level? The thoughts, emotions, concepts, they are coming and going. I continue to be the same. Remember in the first class I told you this. After this, if you go, Acha, what is for dinner? Gone. Gone. If we can fool others by not saying those words, that what is there for dinner. But our attention inside, instead of being on the undisturbed principle called the consciousness, principle of consciousness, the undisturbed one, I allow myself to be disturbed. This is called suicide. You are sabotaging your own happiness. Don't do that. So here this text is telling us, Vidyaranya Swami is telling us that Kutastha means the unchanging pure consciousness, the conscious being. Whether you take it as the mind or you take it as the pure consciousness. And when we take it as the mind, understand, mind is that space in which the thoughts are coming and going. Then that is what I am talking as mind. This is the anvil. What is an anvil? In a blacksmith shop, when you go, you see he has this big pump and he keeps heating up and he's got the fire going, and in that he puts the metal and he heats it up and he heats it up. One hand or the leg is going on like this, and once he sees the metal rod has become red hot, he brings it out and he brings it on a piece of iron and he gives it shape, isn't it? When he is giving shape to that red hot iron, is the same metal, is the metal at the bottom on which is the base. Suppose this is the base and this is the red hot metal. You tak 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 tak, pointed, daba diya, roll kar diya, and is this getting affected? No. Is this changing shape? No. Only this is changing shape. This is not changing shape. This is also iron, this is also iron. But this iron is unchanging, this iron is changing. What is changing? Gross and subtle is changing. If this is also iron, Kutastha, and the red hot iron is also iron, Then what is that? Why we are saying this is changing and that is changing? Isn't it your experience when you look at a blacksmith? But when we look at gross and subtle, so here we say gross is the inert, consciousness is the same gross in a subtle form, means tanmatra form. And whatever is in the gross, that is changing, subtle is also changing. And I know that I am not changing, I am the observer of all the changes. But now here one thing you remember, that the anvil is called as kutastha, then why can't this iron be also called as kutastha? Why can't it be called as the kutastha, the unchanging one? Because it is changing. It is your experience that it is changing. Even though the whole creation is nothing but pure consciousness, itself is divided into spirit and matter. That matter has divided further itself into gross, subtle and causal. And the consciousness aspect is remaining the same. Isn't it? Everything is that one only. But it is your observation. Body is changing, breath is changing, thoughts are changing, emotions are changing, concepts are changing. But I am not changing. So whatever is changing is matter. What is the unchanging principle is called as the kutastha, the unchanging principle. Here, another way you can explain, it's not given here. You know, when you go to the shoe shop in India, you have been?
Yes.
What do they have on the roadside when they have to fix your shoe? They got one metals like this, one on the side, one on this side. So all changes of the shoe are here very quickly. He puts it this way, turns it around, puts it that way, for the heel is on the other side. He fixes the shoe. Nothing happens to that metal piece, isn't it? Similarly, you are that unchanging kutastha, unchanging principle. Don't shortchange yourself into thinking, poor me, I did not get to sleep, the world is too much for me, the world is purposely giving too much trouble. Why is God giving me all the troubles? When will I get a break in this world? You got a break now. Take it and be free. But when our attention is on the world, we want to blame someone, we want to aspire for something, we are ambitious, we want to survive, we want to be rich, we want to have plenty. Here we are saying you already are plenty. You don't have to achieve anything to be plenty. You are already that. You are already complete. Therefore, the consciousness with reference to both gross body and subtle body is referred as kutastha chaitanya. Kuta also means fictitious or imagined or false. With this meaning, it will include both conditionings of gross and subtle bodies and also the chidabhas, that is conditioned consciousness. Because if the conditionings are not real, how can the conditioned consciousness be real? This is the maja. If the conditionings are not real, if there is one without a second, that is the truth. If in that I am seeing gross body, subtle body, causal body, past, present, future, I am seeing waking, dream, deep sleep, all these are existing in their own absence. If they are not real, and with reference to these unreal ones, I talked about the conscious being that I am. So with reference to the gross body, I am the unchanging principle. With reference to the mind, changing mind, I am the unchanging principle. With reference to the causal being, I am the unchanging principle. So it was a referential name that I gave to this infinite pure consciousness. So here the scripture, Pancadasi is telling that with reference to gross, subtle and causal, or here just gross and subtle bodies, that consciousness which is referred to is called as Kutastha Chaitanya. Understand, consciousness is never changing, it is only the body which is changing. Someone asked me before, in between the class, Swamiji, is the matter not changing? Is the matter not consciousness? Are the cells not conscious? Are the atoms not conscious? I answered no. Do you agree?
But they're changing.
Aye.
Because they are changing all the time.
Therefore,
That's why they're not
conscious.
uh,
Can you give me one or two examples where inert matter is changing without being conscious? Because you need examples. Where inert matter is going through change without having consciousness expressed through it.
Trees.
Huh?
Trees.
Tree have consciousness. There is life in it. Huh? No, your consciousness is borrowed to the nails. How can they go?
stones.
Huh? Is it moving? Then how can it be conscious? When I give you the example, अरे यार कितनी बार सुना है? How many times we have heard it?
Innate breath.
Huh?
Breath.
Breath. It's moving. It's not conscious. Breath is not conscious. It's inert. Breath is not a living thing. It's inert. Because you can stop it. प्राणायाम करो, कुंभक रोक दिया मैंने 1 second. If I can build up the stamina, I can stop it for much more longer. And there are Mahatmas who go into hibernation for yugas and then they have come out. So what is the example where inert movement is not equal to consciousness? That is what we are trying to prove. Because if movement was consciousness, then everything in this creation will be conscious. Then we will not need to study the scriptures. फिर प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस की वैल्यू कम हो जाएगी.
Swamiji, consciousness is there in everything.
It's not expressing, huh?
Yeah, it's not
Expressing.
there.
It's not able to reflect or it's not able to reveal itself in this book, like we told before. Yes, it is there. But is this book consciousness? No. So if what is that example I am looking for, where there is no consciousness able to reveal and yet movement is taking place? Here I can understand consciousness is there. I am consciousness. I am moving the inert hand. I am blinking the inert eyes, isn't it? I am making the inert legs. This is gross body inert. I am making it move because there is life expressing. So scientists or people believe that matter is conscious.
Yeah.
That was air is inert.
The electron proton moving around.
Huh?
The electron proton moving around creates the energy.
Good.
which is
This
there.
is one example. This is third example now, which I can use. In every matter, every atom, electrons are going around the protons and neutrons. Who is making them move?
Consciousness.
No, there is no consciousness there. Sorry.
Really, Swami.
That is how it is. There is no consciousness there. Because if that is consciousness, then we are not the students of Vedanta. Matter has got no consciousness in it. Consciousness is independent of matter.
Planets
The
move,
gunas.
so we know
The
about
gunas.
Planets are moving around.
The gunas.
You take, in school we used to play. Time pass अपना होता था. क्या होता था? And mom used to scream, "Where's my comb gone?" Every day it used to be missing.
Yeah, you drop that.
There you go. So we used to make The notebook may say we'll take some paper, small rounds we'll make, and we'll put them on the table. And we'll just, all I have to do is take the comb, pass it through my hair, and bring it at a optimal distance from the paper balls that are lying on the ground, on the table, and they start dancing. So is my consciousness passing through the comb into the, and making the, अबे क्या यार?
Movement is good.
So where is that movement coming from? So is that static electricity consciousness? No, it's a phenomena of the nature. Is lightning consciousness? It's a phenomena of the nature. Is the sunlight and the heat consciousness? Don't go in the wrong way of thinking. Movement is not equal to consciousness. Where there is movement, there is a beginning and an end. It has to be inert. Full stop. Understand? This being so, is there any need to introduce the concept of jiva? If yes, then how? We'll conclude. कूटस्थे कल्पिता बुद्धिः तत्र चित् प्रतिबिम्बकः प्राणानां धारणात् जीवः संसारेण स युज्यते. Now this new topic is beginning of how this jiva. So reflection of the intellect superimposed on the Kutastha Chaitanya reflects the consciousness. Intellect buddhi. Kutastha Chaitanya the consciousness. Chidabhas. So Chaitanya Vastu. So when intellect comes, what is the reflection? That is called as Chidabhas. So intellect is able to reflect the consciousness as Chidabhas, as reflected consciousness. This reflected consciousness, when beholds Prana Shakti, it is called as Jiva. This reflected consciousness, when it says, without the breath I cannot be, I am the one who is breathing, I am this body, I am these thoughts, immediately it is the Jiva. This Jiva is subjected to transmigration, what we call as soul, S-O-U-L, soul. Is there anything like soul? No. Is there anything called transmigration? No. Is there anything called intellect, mind, body, gross, subtle and causal? No. From absolute point, nothing is there. Only from water's point of view, there is no ocean, there is no iceberg, there is no tsunami, there is no wave, nothing. It alone is, isn't it? Similarly, from pure consciousness point of view, it alone is. Only pure consciousness is. But we are talking it from, so don't forget that part. So why that pure consciousness is being called as Kutastha? With reference to the way it is explained now. Because of its reflection in the intellect. So something is reflecting in the intellect. What is reflecting? What is that light which is reflecting in the intellect which is pure? It is the consciousness. That consciousness with reference to intellect is called as Kutastha Chaitanya. Kutastha, the unchanging consciousness. And we'll look into this in our next class tomorrow morning. 23rd we have concluded. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. Just sit quietly for a moment.